Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here today. The Emerging Threats and Capabilities Subcommittee of the House Armed Services Committee will come to order. I'm very pleased to welcome everyone here today for the Subcommittee on Emerging Threats and Capabilities of the House Armed Services Committee Markup for the fiscal year 2017 National Defense Authorization Act. We are a subcommittee that oversees some of the most innovative and critical aspects of the Department of Defense, including the U.S. Cyber Command and cyber programs across the Department of Defense, including major portions of the National Security Agency, defense-wide science and technology efforts such as the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA, and the Military Service Labs, Special Operations Forces, and programs that counter weapons of mass destruction from state and non-state actors alike. This year, the subcommittee has been active in all of these major areas, and this mark truly represents a comprehensive and bipartisan product that all members can be proud. It is worth mentioning that our oversight involves reviewing sensitive Department of Defense authorities, programs, and activities. We also participate in the congressional delegations to see our servicemen and women at war and in the field. The members of the subcommittee take this oversight role very seriously as we remain current on activities and programs involving, most notably, forces across the Defense Intelligence Enterprise, Special Operations Command, and our cyber mission teams. I am especially grateful this morning to highlight a few key areas of our subcommittee mark. This year, our mark includes for robust and resilient cyber operations capabilities, supports innovative science and technological advances to meet future challenges, and fully supports our Special Operations Forces who remain at war and globally postured, supporting national security objectives of the global war on terrorism. We extend vital counterterrorism authorities while improving congressional oversight in this important role. We also have included many provisions to strengthen cyber capabilities and ensure resiliency for the Department of Defense networks, weapons systems, and capabilities. And this mark fully funds the U.S. Cyber Command and all military service cyber programs, while also providing authorities to improve cyber readiness and to fully recover from a cyber attack. This morning, I'd like to thank our ranking member, Mr. Jim Langevin of Rhode Island, who's been an energetic partner on all of these issues. It's been a great pleasure to work with you, Jim, and I look forward to continuing our bipartisan efforts together. The Chair now recognizes Mr. Jim Langevin, the ranking member of the subcommittee, for any opening comments he would like to make.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and likewise, I share your sentiments. It's been a pleasure to work with you this year and with all of our subcommittee members, as has been the tradition of this mark and the subcommittee. It's been a bipartisan effort, and I'm grateful for that. I'd also like to thank the ETC staff, especially for their hard work. They do the heavy lifting in many ways, and it's not lost on any of us how hard they work. I want to recognize Lindsay and Pete, Kevin, Katie, and Nev for their hard work on this bill. So I'm very proud of the mark before us today. It addresses critical policies and programs at the strategic, operational, and tactical levels necessary to keep us ahead of current and future threats. Keeping with tradition, our mark prioritizes technology research, development, and maturation in areas ranging from directed energy to information operations tools. We emphasize the need for the Department to leverage existing authorities for innovation while also supporting the exploration of new ways to think creatively and interface with non-traditional defense partners. So the mark provides for Special Operations Command and their needs, and U.S. Cyber Command and programs and policies and their responsibility. It examines, extends, and modifies policies, authorities, and practices in order to enhance the effectiveness of these commands and associated forces. In response to the inadvertent shipment of anthrax by the Department, the mark institutes quality controls and assurances to decrease the likelihood of such an incident in the future and increases oversight of such agents and pathogens, something that I think is long overdue. These are just a few of the important items in the mark But I'll keep my remarks brief in the interest of time, Mr. Chairman. And with that, in closing, I again want to thank you, Chairman, and all the members of the subcommittee. Our hard work is reflected in this bill, and with that, I'll yield back the balance of my time.
Thank you, Ranking Member Jim Langevin. We will now proceed to mark up H.R. 4909, the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2017. Without objection, the first reading of the bill is dispensed with. Copies of our subcommittee mark and directive report language were made available and distributed to members' offices on Tuesday. Is there any discussion or questions on the subcommittee mark? If there's no further discussion, the chair lays before the members the text of the subcommittee mark for consideration. Without objection, the mark is open to amendment at any point. Are there any amendments to the subcommittee mark? Yes. Yes, Mr. Garamendi.
If I might, first of all, thank you and the ranking member and the staff for putting together, I think, a very, very good bill. As I prepared for this hearing, I've had several meetings about not the cybersecurity command, but about cybersecurity in the IT systems, particularly with the Air Force. And it seems as though the purchasing programs that are required by law are so lengthy and timely, and the very rapid change in the technology causes the systems to be behind. And so as you look forward, as we go forward with this, I would ask that you would consider to provide some flexibility in the contracting and purchasing so that the IT systems can be constantly updated to deal with the emerging threats rather than going through the normal purchasing processes, which sometimes takes years.
And I share your interest and concern on that. And in fact, I'm really grateful that Secretary Ash Carter has made every effort to promote public-private partnership. And I would interpret that to be exactly what you were talking about. So however we can work together on this in a very bipartisan manner, we shall. The question now occurs on the adoption of the mark. So many as in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the mark is adopted. The chair now recognizes, thankfully, the gentleman from Arizona, Mr. Franks, the vice chairman of the subcommittee, for the purpose of a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the subcommittee report the mark favorably to the full committee.
The question is now on the motion of the gentleman from Arizona, Mr. Trent Franks. So many as are in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. A quorum having been present, the ayes have it, and the motion is agreed to. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid on the table. Without objection, members have 5 legislative days which to submit written statements for the record. So ordered. I also ask unanimous consent that staff be authorized to make necessary conforming technical and clerical changes and to remove from the mark provisions that would cause the mark to refer to other committees or would result in additional direct spending or would result in an earmark. And additionally, I want to again thank the professional staff, Pete Villano, Kevin Gates, very grateful for Katie Sutton and Nevi Shadler, and Lindsay Kavanaugh. We are very fortunate to have such capable people. Without further objection, we are adjourned. And thank you. Gosh, I said something nice about you.
No worries.
Huh?